What's a normal thing that makes you strangely sad? Minecraft music. The other day I straight up started crying my eyes out when the music came on while I was playing. Whenever I hear it I just begin to remember the good old days of just playing Minecraft with my dad and brother, watching Sky Does Minecraft and Stampy Longnose, unaware of everything that is wrong with the world. I miss the innocence, and hearing the music from the game just triggers those emotions in me. Old people eating by themselves in a restaurant. Seeing people doing things alone, like eating a meal, going to the zoo, going to the movies, etc. I know some people like to do things alone, but I'm sure it's not the case for everyone. Walking into a bookstore. I love books, but the fact that I'll never read all the books I'd love gives me a bout of existentialism like no other. I went yesterday and I'm still dealing with it now. Babies and children just being babies and children. I think I had a really fortunate childhood but took it for granted and never truly appreciated my life because of it. After experiencing and understanding how real and unforgiving life can be, I always have a sense of sadness when I'm around newborns and young children. I love kids and I think the sadness comes from acknowledging their innocence and reminding myself of what I didn't appreciate. Something like that, lol. This culture of hooking up looks all fun and games on the surface, but I feel like a lot of people just carry a lot of hurt and use hookups as another means of escape. People falling out, especially long-term friends. I know it's a part of being human, and that not everyone gets along all the time. But it hurts watching relationships crumble in just a second. Watching the news. North American indigenous peoples drumming, dancing and music, in person. I've been to several events that have showcased indigenous singing and dancing, and I can't even explain why it brings tears to my eyes and makes me very emotional. Edit, I guess I would add that any time I see a NZ hacken online, that also makes me emotional. Deleted. Stray dogs and cats. When an ambulance with sirens on drives by. I guess it's just the thought that this person might never come home and their families have to continue living but without them. Obese animals. Makes me feel like we're doing something very wrong besides the obvious. When people cut down a perfectly healthy tree in their yard. My children getting bigger. One day I wake up and look at my 7-month-old and suddenly see his hands are so much bigger, or he overnight grasps how to crawl and takes off exploring. Or to see my 5-year-old, hearing her personality blossom in the way she speaks, suddenly her hair is finally long enough for her first haircut. I swore to myself I'd pay close attention while I was home with my babies, yet it still slips away from me. I feel totally vain saying this, but women with long hair. Mine is slow to grow, and last year I'd been growing it out for 2 years, had it dyed a gorgeous blue, when it started falling out. It had taken me so long to get it to shoulder length, and then within a few weeks I basically was there looking like Punk Gollum. I really didn't think it would bother me as much as it did, and I should be happy that it's grown back. But I'm really aware that it's been over a year now, it's still too short for even a ponytail, and trying to dye it blue just made it a half-assed non-color because I'm too afraid to bleach it. My self-image just kind of got stuck on my hair last June and never quite shifted to the reality of what my hair is. I keep thinking I look like I did, and I hate myself for it, because I know it's really not that bad. But it's not me. Finding photos. Every now and then I'll buy a second-hand book and someone will have slipped a photo inside, I assume either for safekeeping or to use as a bookmark. They're never super old photos, and they never seem super precious. But that person in the photo is a person, you know? Sometime in the past, someone decided that the sight of that smiling little kid at the foot of a slide on a summer's day was something they wanted a memory of. Maybe that kid's still out there somewhere. Maybe he grew up and he's about my age. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he's an asshole, I don't know, but someone wanted a picture of him, and now they don't have that picture anymore. And what do you even do with a photo? You can't throw it out, because that seems rude. You can't return the photo to the owner with a "here, you forgot this," because you don't know who they are. So you keep it inside the book it came in. waiting until the day you forget it's there and have a clear out and the book goes back to a charity shop, maybe hundreds of miles away, if you've moved house in the interim, and the whole process can start again. Or maybe that's just me, I don't know. That strange smell that take me back to my childhood and old days. It makes me deeply sad. It reminds me that how innocent the first was and what damn monster I am now. Reminds me that I'm nothing but a damn failure, only caused sadness and trouble for my loved ones. Reminds me how good things were and how everything getting worse year by year. I know people love these weird smells because it takes them back to their childhood, that's why they love it, and that's why I hate it. When having a shower, and some of the shampoo or soap falls out of your hand and goes down the drain. Hits you right in the feels, shampoo was wasted and never gets to fulfill its purpose. Balloons being released or lost. It's why I hate helium balloons. A glove that someone has dropped. Or when you only find one of the socks after laundry. It misses its buddy. The day after a wedding. I just feel kind of depressed when it's all over. When old cars get abandoned, but something about seeing a 1958 Chevy Impala being abandoned in the middle of a field is sad to me. Losing time to sleep, for example, not being able to converse with my husband because we're asleep. Removed. Deleted. Life. Just life itself. Watching the sunset while I drive home from work alone. Noticing signs of age in my mom. She's still middle-aged, but it makes me think about what it'll be like when she does die. When someone breaks their glasses, the look of disappointment in their faces when they realize they've smashed them. People growing apart and moving on in life. Seeing a lonely and awkward kid in the class. I always think of what they might be in the future, being too awkward for people to be friends with and ending up eating alone for the rest of his/her life. Pets. Thinking about how simple their lives are, same food most of the time, usually entertained by cheap toys or playing with their caretakers, living the same sheltered life every day. I mean, I know they're happy and it does sound like a great way to live when you think about it, just, I dunno, can't help but feel weirdly sad about it. They're living such different lives from what's normal or natural for their kind, even if it's much better and safer this way. When someone drops food, especially if they were excited to eat it. Videos of kids dropping ice cream cones. Funny pictures of pizza with the toppings slid off. Emotional torture. Life. A dilapidated abandoned house. The years of people living in it, creating memories, shaping their lives, possibly raising a family. The house has all these memories that no one cares about, just like many of its occupants once they are laid to rest, or, simply once they age, as many people put their elders in homes and rarely visit. Forgotten and left alone until its time is up and it just ceases to exist, memories and all. Finishing a really long-running show, like Naruto. It just leaves you with this empty feeling like you've lost a part of yourself. This post is making me sad. Deleted. The closing ceremony of the Olympics. When I watch a sport match, soccer, baseball, tennis, anything, I always feel bad for the loser. Even when the team I root wins, I felt bad because the other team lost after all their hard work. I like to people watch, and once I observed a group having a chat and I noticed one person who kept trying to enter the conversation but not getting attention. Just seeing their face and wondering how they're feeling and how relatable it was for me made me sad. The fact that so many people need to watch YouTube/Netflix/movies while getting ready for bed or falling asleep because deep down they feel lonely and can't bear the silence reminding them in the dark deep. For some reason, hot water on my body when I'm cold. Ever since I was younger, when I would get into a bath that was hot I would feel melancholic. Of course I only knew what to label it as I got older, but it still happens. Even splashing hot water on my face can cause me to get sad. So weird. Anytime somebody spends their fun money on something that somehow turns poorly for them. Anything from seeing a coffee or ice cream that's fallen on the sidewalk, or a child's toy breaking, There's even a moment in sports when the visiting team wins where my mind goes to the home fans, especially families, who spent a good amount to be there and are leaving disappointed. Growing up, we rarely struggled to make ends meet, but there was a very limited fun budget after providing for necessities. So when I see someone drop their ice cream, or break their phone, or get a mess on a nice shirt that they were being careful to keep clean, I get a little twinge of deja vu, thinking back to when I was young and dropping my ice cream or breaking a toy meant I was just out of luck.